It is 7:11. Newstalk Sauga 960. Raw, Mike Richards, along with David Bastl, and I'm going to talk about a takeover. Oh yeah, a takeover. Now, normally when I say something like that, people are like, "What does that mean? Is it an aggressive takeover?" Actually, this is the friendliest takeover of all time, and it's something that Woodbine actually looks forward to. And it's Trust 15. It is a youth community support organization, and Marcia Brown, who is the founder and executive director, is joining us here this morning. Good morning, Marcia.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. And you know what? I have to be honest. This is something that so Newstalk Sauga 960 has been around in the current form for about a year and a half, 2 years, and in that time. We've been heavily supported by Woodbine and Jim Lawson personally to help us get off the ground and do what we're doing right now. This is one of the things that he talked about first. This was something that was very, very, very important to him as his community. And when you see that, you know, the as big as Woodbine has been in the Rexdale area, it's going to be even bigger. But for a guy like Jim Lawson, it wouldn't be good enough unless he's bringing the community with him. So the community we're talking about is Rexdale, sort of north of Etobicoke. Is that fair to say?
Correct. Yes, we're in North Etobicoke.
And so just tell the people who are listening here this morning, will be watching later on today, exactly what is Trust 15.
Okay, Trust 15 is a mentorship program I created almost 10 years ago by walking into my community every night, telling kids that I wanted to change their lives. I was seeing something in my community that wasn't right. Kids weren't not being motivated. They didn't want to do anything, and it was very difficult to see a community like that. So I decided to photocopy 250 flyers. Each night I would walk in the community, tell parents, tell kids that I wanted to change their lives. I wanted to show them a different part of life than what I was seeing. If we don't motivate these kids and bring them to an area, they're going to lose everything. So I had to do this from my heart. I love my community and I love these kids. And I gave them a chance to be something that they have never been before, and it's been doing so well.
It's a sort of, as people would say, paying it forward, but I think it's even for you, Marcia, even more than that. I come from a family of teachers, so everything that you just said is so important. Sort of the essence of not only teaching but mentorship, which is, I think, what you're talking about, because it is the gift that keeps on giving. And I imagine for the years that you have done this, which is almost a decade now, I'm sure you've seen those that first initially got into the program giving back to those that are entering the program, which I think is the whole idea of why you've done this.
Yes, and right now, as we're speaking, I'm glad you brought that up. Most of the kids who have come through the program, my alumni, they have graduated from college and university. And this is the year that they're coming back to me and saying, Mrs. Brown, I want to help out. We have someone who just got their bar. They just did their bar exam, right?
Oh,
Going to be a lawyer.
amazing.
We have someone who did in business administration. We have a pharmacist. The list goes on and on and on. But the idea that they want to come back without me going and say, hey, can you come and help the community? I don't have to do that. They're coming back because they got an opportunity to get a chance to experience what I've given them, and now they want to do more for others. So I'm very blessed for this opportunity that this is happening back in our community.
And it's a massive compliment to you and your organization as well that they want to come back. So you have to take some credit here. You can't just be saying it's all about that. Let's talk about the social media takeover exactly. So at 9 o'clock this morning, just to give our listeners an idea, Woodbine Entertainment is allowing the takeover from Trust 15 on all social media accounts. How did this initial meeting start up between Trust 15 and Woodbine, and how did it get to this point today? We'll talk about what's happening today, but first we want to know how it actually occurred, and the two parties got together and decided on a very good idea.
Yes, so let's start off with Jim Lawson, amazing man, a very humble man who believes in the work that I'm doing. And as you said in the beginning, want to help the community. So he brought it to my attention that he said he was talking to his team about, we need to let more people know about Trust 15. So this is the idea they came up by having these kids talk about the program, talk about what it means to them, but bring in someone who can interview them. I am so honored to say that Tracy Moore is the one who's being interviewing from City Line, who will be interviewing the kids today. The kids trust her. He has been with me for almost 8 years, and they feel comfortable that they will be able to speak what they need to talk about. Without Woodbine team helping me out today, this would have never happened. right? The word is going to be out there for everyone to hear. They're going to understand why this program is so important for everyone, why these kids have made it. And if it wasn't for them, and I do it from the bottom of my heart, I thank them for including the communication department for what they have done, because now they know the mission and the purpose of why the Trust 15 is very important.
We're in conversation with Marcia Brown. She is Trust 15's founder and executive director. They are taking over the Woodbine Entertainment Twitter and Facebook accounts today, and very exciting for the kids. And when I say kids, I guess we should probably find out what are the ages that we're talking about here for the most part.
We're ages from ages 7 to 19 years of age. I have 4 programs. I have Girls on the Rise and Boys of Excellence. That's between the ages of 7 and 12. And then I have Ladies on the Rise and Men of Distinction. That is a mentorship program from age 13 to 19 years of age.
Oh, that is, I mean, it just, we had, what, a couple of days ago we had Juwan Breskison, who's originally from Mississauga, went into football, right? So he was a very good athlete, goes down to Northern Illinois, comes back and plays for the Calgary Stampeders, wins a Grey Cup, but now he's back in Toronto. And the first thing that he did was go back into his community with some school friends, like childhood friends, very smart, very well educated, very motivated young people, and started something called Black Dollars TO, where he has now organized Black businesses, their ownership, to put them all together in a framework, give them consistency and a unity. It's that feeling of what to do for your community, which makes it all better. And I know that, I mean, Marcia, I mean, as you know, with what has happened socially in trying to rectify some just tremendous wrongs in terms of racism and what, quite frankly, your family and probably your parents and grandparents had to go through. This is real change. This is something that I think isn't just looks good on paper, because I think there's a lot of that goes around.
That's
you can
true.
now look at those 4 groups that you have defined, and as Tracy will interview later on, they're going to have some real stories, and real stories count.
Exactly. And that's where it starts, right? When you hear the stories from these youth, remember, some of them have a wonderful life, but some of them have gone through a hard time. But with this program, you have seen a big change in them, how they speak, how they carry themselves, how excited they are when I bring in amazing role models to come speak to them, and taking them on trips that they've never gone before, like to Disneyland or Ottawa, little things that we take for granted, right? They never had that opportunity. And I want to make sure that they have that opportunity to have that, because as you said, it will change them. It will make them a better person of who they are. And that is what my mission is, to make sure that every child that walks through Trust 15 will have that opportunity, and their lives will be different moving forward.
I just kind of curiosity's sake, because everybody in society is battling COVID-19 and everything that's happened with the pandemic. How has the pandemic affected Trust 15? And what are some of the hurdles you've had to, outside of the obvious ones that everybody else has, but what are some of the hurdles that Trust 15 has had to kind of overcome?
Well, I can tell you right now, we can't really do our programs how we used to before, how we used to meet together. And a lot of kids are very disappointed in that. And I had to figure out a way to make it more interesting. So we've been doing it online right now. And I'm going to be honest with you, I thought these kids would be upset about it or not be involved. They want to be involved. We had our first session last week because I was trying it out to see how it would work. And 45 men were on there. And when you saw them come on, they were so excited, like, it was almost like they haven't seen each other in years, how it was. It was really good. And you know what, and what's been very troubling with some of them is that they need to come out. They can't handle being locked up all the time. And I've been calling them. I have my leaders calling them to find out how they're doing. So we're trying to do different things to make them occupied. Do I have to change my whole program? Absolutely. It cannot be the way how I used to do it until we see each other again. But I have to do it in a way that will motivate these kids and continue to make them know that we're there for them, and bring in, and I'm still doing that, I'm still bringing amazing role models to come online. But now I can reach beyond Etobicoke. I can even go to the US now and bring in more people to talk to the kids. And they're very excited about that. So we still have our little things that we have to do. We have a lot of trial basis, but I have a feeling this is going to work moving forward until we can see each other again.
And so when that happens, I'm just curious, because as people are listening and watching this today, they may feel like they want to be a part of this, and I would completely understand why they would want to do that. So how does that happen? How does someone become, for instance, like a mentor with one of the programs?
So the way it would work, I would like them to go on trust15.com. They can go into contact and put in the information, who they are and what they would like to do to help out. After I get the information, right, I will contact them and I will meet with them and talk to them to tell them what the program's about. I would even show them these are the things that they would need to do. I'm telling you right now, a lot of people have come to me and everyone has said yes. They always want to find some way to help us. And once they come in, then I would say to them, what would you like to do? I would like them to observe what they see and find out ways they can help other kids. Some of them would like to even mentor some of these kids and take them on. That is a blessing as its own. I am only one person. I know the kids all adore me, but I told the kids that I'm going to be bringing in amazing people who have the same heart like mine, who want to give back and want to help you. So allow them in your heart now. But as long as the kids know that I bring them in and say, listen, this is my friend, you know, he's here to help, the kids will allow them to come in, and that's where the trust will begin. So I am getting a lot of people right now who want to volunteer their time, and I'm going to be showing them what to do. Now we're doing it in a different way now on Zoom. So I'm trying to figure out how we can do that. But I will make sure I find a mission how to make it happen.
Okay, so this morning, 9 o'clock, Trust 15 officially takes over all Woodbine social media accounts. Give us a little bit of a sneak peek at what is actually going to be happening, and just to give us a little taste, because obviously we're going to be checking this out during the day, and we definitely welcome all our listeners and viewers to do the very same thing.
Okay, so this is what's happening. There's going to be 6 amazing students from each of the programs that I told you about, who are going to be speaking to Tracy Moore about their experience in being part of Trust 15. Tracy had asked each kid different questions about how they felt about the program, what it done for them, and you're going to be very pleased of what you hear from them. These kids are talking from their hearts, why this program means so much to them and how it changed them. I saw the preview of it and I was just blown away how the kids spoke from their hearts. So when people hear it today, they're going to understand what it's all about. And this takeover that is happening, thank you, Woodbine, because now more people will know about the work that I've been doing and the message and how important it is to mentor and encourage these kids to be the best. So I want everybody to watch it today, and trust me, by the time you are finished, you will never forget about Trust 15.
Well, that is the idea, and it's very infectious having you on today. Your smile, your heart, you know, it's all those things that make a community, quite honestly. And the impact you have on those lives, they last forever. And as you said, it keeps going back within the community. It's how we make our communities better. And I know you're being very humble about it, but I know there's a lot of sacrifice that you have made in your life for this. You know, it's as you said, you're not a corporation. It's Marcia Brown. You've had to carry this on your shoulders for a long time, but
I did.
You wouldn't do it if you didn't love it, and you wouldn't do it if you didn't love children. I mean, that's the bottom line.
And I care, and I really care. And thank you for mentioning about sacrifice. I have a wonderful family, a wonderful husband who has supported me from day one. And if it wasn't for the support from them, I wouldn't be able to carry on this mission. And they knew how important it was, because my husband knew how I was from the time we met, that this is the kind of person Marcia is. He's always telling me that. So the idea that I'm able to continue this work with his support and my family's support goes a long way. And this is why I'm continuing to do this mission until I can't do it anymore. This is something I believe in, something that's coming from my heart. I adore my community, I adore these kids, and I will do anything for them to make sure that they have a better life.
Yeah, and trust me, they know it. And they absolutely know it. Marcia, thank you so much for joining us here this morning. Just such a real pleasure, actually, to start our day with something like this. Best of luck at 9 o'clock, and we'll all be watching as Trust 15 takes over Woodbine Entertainment, and we look forward to that.
Okay, thank you again for allowing me to speak. Thank you.